Over at Marvel Comics, the publisher is looking to move the Captain America franchise in a bit of a different direction than the film universe by having not one, but two Captain America characters. And Marvel even has separate titles for both Captain Americas right now, including Captain America Symbol of Truth by Hochi Onyebuchi and R.B. Silva, and Captain America Sentinel of Liberty from Collinkelly, Jackson Lanzing, and Carmencarnero. However, in the month of April, these two titles are going to have several of their plot threads interwoven for the upcoming Captain America Cold War storyline. My name is Arco Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and dig deep into Captain America's Cold War to figure out what plot threads are leading to this ginormous battle. But before we dive deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our video. So without further ado, I want to introduce several aspects of the Captain America Cold War storyline to you. Now, I want to give a quick disclaimer before we jump into it. I want to share, several of the most interesting plot points and facts to get you caught up on both titles. So this is in no means a super comprehensive video. Also, there will be spoilers for Captain America's Sentinel of Liberty and Symbol of Truth, just so I can relay all the information that I want to in order to set up each kind of individual aspect of this plot. All right, so to go ahead and kick things off, I want to show some of the covers for the Captain America titles. So right here, we're looking at Captain America Symbol of Truth. Now, this series has kind of contributed to the Cold War storyline by setting up Sam Wilson's battle with the character known as White Wolf. White Wolf is somebody who has a lot of affiliations to Wakanda and an individual that Sam Wilson has been kind of tracking across the globe over in the Captain America Symbol of Truth title. But I want to go ahead and introduce just a few plot points from Captain America Sentinel of Liberty next, as this book has kind of been focusing on what I would argue is the largest aspect of the Cold War crossover, which is the Outer Circle characters that I want to go ahead and show right now. So these Outer Circle characters are a group of Marvel, villains who've been kind of shaping the ins and outs of the Marvel universe for centuries. In fact, over on this panel from Kev Walker, we're seeing a kind of rendition of the Outer Circle's century game. And really what they do is they kind of move and shake things. They make meticulous plans in order so that things go exactly their way. And I would argue that this exact plot point is what led to the most controversial aspect of Captain America's Cold War storyline. Because despite the fact that I really enjoy the writing, there's actually one plot point in this series that I've noticed and need to talk about now. Just quick spoiler warning for anybody who doesn't want to know about Bucky Barnes' current status quo over in the Captain America Sentinel of Liberty ongoing series. But what happened in that series is Bucky realized that the Outer Circle were controlling so many aspects of the Marvel universe that he found it necessary to kind of deactivate the Outer Circle by any means necessary. And he decided to do so by directly shooting Captain America in order to shoot kind of the leader of the revolution. And I think this was an incredibly controversial plot point for me, due to the fact that we've already seen Bucky in this situation during the Winter Soldier storyline, which was a legendary tale over from Marvel that was just a couple years ago. So getting plot points that are that kind of similar in such a small stretch of time, I think, has a lot of confusion around the internet. Seeing Bucky turn into a villainous character, so soon after the Winter Soldier storyline concluded is just kind of like a puzzling, plot direction for me. And actually, I was willing to write the Captain America Cold War crossover off until I had the pleasure of diving into both Captain America series and really just seeing, how well this series is written, particularly the Sentinel of Liberty title from Collinkelly and Jackson Lanzing, that despite the fact that I really dislike the current character arc for Bucky Barnes, seeing him want to dismantle kind of like the outer circle, as the new revolution. He's looking to sort of break this structure by infiltrating it. But I still think that this is a bit of a step back in terms of Bucky Barnes' characterization. However, after reading how nuanced and how many kind of Captain America characters are reintroduced back into kind of both titles, especially with the new Invaders team, I'm really interested in seeing where this series goes next. Because even though I don't like this crossover or this plot point, there's plenty of other plot points that are really fascinating. And this is kind of the first official chapter of Captain America Cold War. But the crossover storyline kicks off with Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 11. That issue is on sale April 5th, and it's from the same creative team of Collinkelly, Jackson Lanzing, and Carmencarnero. We are currently looking at the cover for Captain America Cold War Alpha number 1. So this is a really interesting chapter as we kind of see, essentially Bucky and White Wolf join forces, kind of stringing together plot threads from both Captain America titles with Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers as their enemies unite together. And it looks like the Captain America, teams respectively are going to have to team up in order to stop them. However, there's a couple more interesting plot points from the Captain America Symbol of Truth title that I want to go ahead and talk about. First off, here's a look at White Wolf, who is the other half of the Cold War storyline. And I want to show off Ian Rogers. So one more aspect about Captain America Cold War that's really interesting is the event is referencing the Dimension Z storyline from Rick Remender and John Romita Jr.'s Captain America series that saw Captain America take on an adopted son known as Ian. So Ian Rogers is returning or has returned in the pages of Captain America's Symbol of Truth, but it looks like the Marvel Universe has big plans with him over in this upcoming Cold War storyline. So I'm really curious to see kind of where that goes. And I'm really interested to see if, there's going to be another wide expansion of Dimension Z. In fact, I want to go ahead and read off some of Marvel's solicitation text that they wrote for the Captain America Cold War event. Things will come to a head when Bucky and White Wolf join forces and kidnap Ian Rogers in a twisted plan to unleash Dimension Z. Will Steve and Sam be able to agree on the hard choices needed to set things right? And here's one more look at the cover for the Captain America Cold War Alpha special. I thought it might be interesting to take another look at the cover now that you have all these pieces and can see, some of the ancillary characters in the background of the story. Here's a look at the upcoming Captain America Sentinel of Liberty cover. This is an issue releasing in May, and I think this is particularly interesting because Black Widow is kind of returning over to the pages of Captain America. I'm very curious to see kind of how Black Widow reacts to Bucky's new status quo later on in the series. And this is just one of the later covers over for Captain America Symbol of Truth. It looks like the events of Cold War are kind of dialing up the animosity between both of these Captain America characters. So curious to see kind of where their conflict goes and just how much animosity there's going to be here at the end of the day. Hopefully it's not too much because the captains both have their work set out for them across all these different villains who are looking to converge over at the same time. So those were my thoughts over on Captain America's Cold War series. After diving into both Captain America titles, I really wanted to go ahead and make a more comprehensive video because I'm now very excited about this upcoming crossover event. And largely, I think if we kind of exclude some of those plot threads with Bucky, this really has the potential to be one of the most interesting kind of Captain America stories we've seen in a couple years. I want to know from you kind of what are your thoughts on White Wolf, the Outer Circle, the New Revolution? What are your thoughts on, these creative teams bringing back elements of Dimension Z and Ian Rogers? I want you to let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and we will be back in April to cover everything Captain America Cold War related. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.